Welcome back to State of Decay 2. Hurley? Okay, what? Dude, I'm doing my intro. Welcome back to State of Decay 2 and the Commune. Sorry, I've actually turned down the volume of the game, so you probably didn't hear that as loudly as I did, but Hurley was just talking into my ear and driving me crazy. Hi, I've been kind of sick, so I'm doing kind of short episodes right now so that I can take a nap afterwards. But I'm glad to be back streaming State of Decay 2, and I'm glad to have all of you here. So what I've been doing is going around trying to deal with infestations. Looks like we've got suppressors on this guy's stuff. Okay, he's actually ready to go. Good. I just grabbed a random character. I had no idea whether or not he was going to be ready to fight some zombies, but it looks like he is. The main thing I actually want to make sure I do before I go, aside from keeping my base going, is let's craft some advanced toolkits, because in the last episode, I nearly got myself completely killed, and one part of that was having a feral rip my door off. So I've got kind of a messed up... Ooh, I should also, while I'm at it, grab a gas can. So I've got kind of a messed up car. So we're going to fix my messed up car. And then we're going to go deal with some more infestations. Hopefully not getting nearly killed this time. Okay, Impaler's in good shape again. We'll refuel it again. So Sir Nanobot was asking me what kind of mic I use, because it sounds good. Well, thank you very much. I actually worry about that a lot. I've had a lot of bad experiences with mics on streams not sounding very good. Sometimes because, for whatever reason, computers really like to select the wrong microphone. And I've actually heard, like, professional podcasters having that problem. There was an episode of the Pilot TV podcast I listened to recently, which is a great podcast, by the way. It's 3 British people commenting on television, and it's awesome. But the host of the podcast, James Dyer, was on vacation. He was doing it from vacation, and he brought his fancy microphone, but his computer chose the wrong microphone. He ended up doing the entire thing with, like, really garbage audio, and he felt really bad about it. And he was actually it was funny, he was kind of mad at his co-host for not telling him how bad he sounded. Because some people really pay attention how good audio sounds, and sometimes some people just don't. And if they're like, oh yeah, if I can hear you, it's fine. And they don't, and they're not very critical of it. So I appreciate that you're saying that my mic sounds good. One of the problems that I face with microphones is that for some reason, my overall audio that gets recorded by OBS is just lower than everything else. You might have noticed that popping from my videos to other people's videos, that that I'm just quiet, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't seem to be able to do anything about it. But one thing I don't do, though, is try to amp it up too much, because I'm afraid of getting distortion on the microphone and then sounding bad. So if it sounds good, that means that I've tuned it down enough that you're not getting the distortion you would get. Oh, the original question was, what kind of mic do I use? I didn't answer it, did I? It's a Blue Yeti, which is actually one of the more common, like when somebody is first deciding, you know what, I want to have a good sounding mic. A Blue Yeti is usually the mic that they get. There are fancier mics that, like, true audiophiles will get into, and some audiophiles are like dismissive of the Blue Yeti and look down on it because it's not quite as fancy as their favorites. But I found it really, really good, easy to use. You know, you don't have to be any kind of weird expert in it. You just it's a very plug and play sort of device, and yeah, I like it. The only weird thing is, it for some reason it thinks that it has a speaker on it, and so sometimes my computer will decide that the Yeti is its output for sound instead of its input. That can be odd, but I think that's as likely to be a problem with my computer, and not really the Yeti. Uh-oh. Hello. Stop it. Oh my gosh. I cannot get that thing's head. Okay. Oh, here's everybody. Let's gather everybody into a nice little pile. Hello. And burn. Wait, how did I not burn them? That was weird. I hit the RB button. Oh, hi, there you are. Okay, hold on. Stop it. Where's the other one? Oh, he's right there. Dang it. Stop. No, do not puke on me while that guy is tackling me, you jerk. Okay. Yes. So I love the sort of zombie haircut method because all the zombies are the same height. As long as they're standing on even ground, you can sometimes just hold your crosshair at one level and just take out literally every zombie. You got a whole crowd chasing you, and just as long as you keep your crosshair level, you can just nail headshot after headshot after headshot, which is actually something we think about a little bit. Like, you know, as we're planning future games, we're like, you know, is that something that we should allow the player to do, or should we actively try to get zombies to either physically be different sizes or to animate to keep their heads at different heights, so that it's not as simple as just, you know, basically mowing them down with keeping your crosshair at a single height. Oh, hey, more fire. Good, because I think I just ran myself out. Oh, nope. Haha, take that. And one thing I didn't do is actually check out this guy's skills. What can he do? Oh, swordplay. Swordplay is the main cool thing that this guy can do in battle. Good to know. Okay. Yes. And now I'm full up, I think. Oh, but things still stack. Come on, give me more stackables. Ah. Dang it. Well, I guess I gotta make a... Oh, actually, I know what I should do. Let's use these bandages. There, now we can carry the chemicals. This house just seemed like such a nice bonanza. You know, normally I don't worry too much about picking up everything in the house that I just cleared of an infestation. But it had so many icons, I was like, I might as well. It'll be worth my time. Alright, so let's drop off some things. Particularly the things that don't stack. That's usually the stuff, or at least that either that doesn't stack or that does stack, but that I'm unlikely to find in other places. Alright, well, since I'm here, might as well see what's in this place. Boombox. Anyway, Jedi Cyctrix, it is really nice to have you back. Yes, I'm excited that you made two streams, since we haven't seen each other very much lately. I hope that you and the family are all doing well. Okay, I'm gonna grab this, drop that off. And actually, let's switch to my other gun, because that's the one that I've got too much ammo for. All right, let's head down to this particular clinic. Really seems to get... Oh, wait a minute. Before I go... Oh, let's definitely not go off that cliff. There's another shed icon here. Oh, this is just a little garbage shed, isn't it? Nah, not worth it. Not worth getting out of my car when I just noticed there's a horde nearby. Ren of Court points out that making the zombies different heights would just actually amp up the value of the gunslinging skill. Because like right now, the difference between the survivability of a character with gunslinging and a character without gunslinging is pretty massive, to the point where gunslinging just feels really OP. And he's pointing out that the more difficult we make it to hit those zombie heads naturally, the more gunslinging just sort of takes over the game. That is a valid point. Though, if we were talking about a future game, I mean, there's all kinds of ways we could change the way the whole gunslinging situation operates. Alright, I hope that got both screamers. Yes, it did. Good. Oh, stop. Oh, crap. Okay, unfortunately, these new ads keep joining the infestation, which means the infestation doesn't clear until I get them all. Okay, there we go. Infestation clear. Which means I think we just got, yes, just the one that nearly killed the last guy. So, Zedric wants to know why it feels like the doctors seem to choose the same clinic on each map, and the auto repair guys, the auto repair enclave, tends to choose the same map, the same place a lot. So I think, so when we are selecting where a particular mission takes place, usually, you know, basically we don't usually choose a location, except in Trumbull Valley. Trumbull Valley, we chose specific locations for everything. Oh gosh, a bloater. And the occasional mission needs it. Like, for instance, some of the final legacy missions require a specific very large building to take place in. And so in those cases, we will choose specific buildings. But most of the time what we do is we just put parameters down. We're like, it needs to be in a clinic. It needs to be in some kind of auto repair place. But then that's not the only criterion. And sometimes... Like, for instance, if we say, you know, it has to be within a certain distance of the player's base. And then there's only a narrow range of different bases that the player community can live in. That would say, like, so there's a particular, like, if we say, oh, it has to be a medium distance from the player's base, and then there's only certain auto shops that ever fulfill that criterion. Oh, whatever! Both of those shots missed. Really? Wow. I guess I should have brought up gunslinging character. What the heck? Look at this nonsense. Okay. That's 2 screamers down. I love what an inconsistent shot I am. Like, sometimes I'm just nailing headshot after headshot after headshot. And sometimes I can't hit a single thing to save my life. Okay, so... Okay, that might be the other regular zombie. Oh, there. Oh, hello. Nope. Stop trying to infect me with your grossness. I just got over the plague. Okay, okay, we actually did it. Yay, I'm not as terrible at this game as I feared. I guess while we're out here, we can search a couple of places. Wait, how much room do I have? I've got a little bit of room in my inventory. Mostly from just having to use a bunch of consumables in these fights. Oh, so, Cog just pointed out that apparently the last person that I raided, who was playing State of Decay 2, really appreciated that we had a post office in the game because they're a postal worker. That's fun. Yeah, we actually, I think the original State of Decay also had a post office. It's a long-standing tradition because, you know, kind of like in Castaway, you know, if you got the mail with you, you could find anything. Alright, so let's see what's here. Backpack. Stackables. Uh-oh. Gun's not in the best shape. Oh, some... I don't have room for some parts.
Until we build more storage, we can expect more supplies to get ruined like
You know, I don't really need another backpack. Let's take these parts with me. All right. I think we're good in here, and I think that's actually all the space that I've got. So let's get back to the car, head back home. Oh, wow. Zedric, I'm impressed that you could rattle off exactly where the post office is in Spencer's Mill. But yeah, it's funny, that place stood out to me, too, as a... I just heard some sounds I don't want to hear. That place stood out to me, too, as a player of the game, before I ever worked on the team. And so, yeah, I wish that we had done more with the post offices. Like, I wish we had... I don't know, framed some, like, made sure there was a post office in each mission, in each map, and framed a mission around the post office. Not a post office in each mission. That would make no sense at all. Like, oh, I gotta go to the post office again. They'll be taking the idea of a FedEx mission to, like, a whole new level. Yeah, so that went a lot better than the last trip. My character is not almost dead. I did not destroy the door of my car. I was not nearly eaten by ferals. And I'm coming home with a nice pile of stuff. Last time I think I came home with an empty trunk. So, this is pretty good. We'll head home, and then we'll see what's left to do setting our base up. Oh, by the way, a while back, I streamed the game Immortality, and I was very careful not to reveal any spoilers and not to reveal any adult content, of which there is lots in that game, by the way. Like, I was avoiding, like, you know, the slightest hint of it, so anytime I saw anything during the stream that was like, oh, this could lead somewhere weird, I got out of there as quickly as I could, because I want this to be a family-friendly stream. So, yeah, if you're interested in Immortality, though, it is definitely full of adult content, so, you know, be very cautious who you play it in front of. But I also did get to the ending. You know, I haven't seen every single clip. There's still a lot that I'm missing. But I got to the official ending, and I liked it. It's a little bit hard to figure out what's going on. There's, you know, some otherworldly stuff going on that is a little bit hard to follow. It's easy to not be quite sure what's going on and what everything means, but oops, cancel. Just want to take the suppressor off that and unload this because I can't afford to repair it yet. And ooh, the Czech M8 maybe, or G17, or I definitely want it to be something suppressible. Yeah, let's give him the Czech M8. So that means different bullets. And we'll stick the suppressor on there. So yeah, there we go. This guy's back in fighting shape, mostly. We should probably switch away from him. Give him a rest. Dave's already recovered. Nice work, Dave. We haven't played... Oh, you know, I don't know if we've played Rue yet. We should switch to Rue. Let me see what else people are saying in the chat, though. So, folks are suggesting that the post office might actually be... Like, if we decided to, then it might be kind of fun if we could turn the post office maybe into an outpost that would let you directly send things from one community to another. That's an interesting idea. I don't think anyone has ever suggested that, because folks are already talking about the fact that, you know, using legacy mules, where you can push a character into the legacy pool carrying stuff, and then recruit them again at another community to bring the stuff to you. That is a new thing that you know, we haven't really been able to do historically, and that's a cool addition to the game. But it's also a headache, you know. And if that ends up being the primary way that people use those options with the legacy pool to just send stuff back and forth, giving you a way to shortcut that and do the same thing but easier, I could see that being valuable. That's an interesting idea. Zedric, I'm not sure there's a post office in every map. Because we didn't make that a requirement, it's very possible that there are some maps without post offices. I know there are definitely maps without bookstores. We have one mission that always takes place in a bookstore, and that mission is one of the rarest ones in the game because only a couple of our maps even have bookstores, much less, just not even bearing in mind the low chance of even rolling that mission in the first place. Awesome Twitch dude. I mean, there's a reason we did not turn the hospital in Drucker County into a base, which is just, it's so extremely dense. It was hard enough just to get a couple of floors worth of scavenging in there. Or just one floor, I think, worth of scavenging in there. Adding more and more density to it would actually have caused a serious performance problem. Like, I think, turning your camera towards the hospital when you're anywhere nearby it would cause, like, frame rate drops and things like that if we tried to make it too complex. And so it's fun having that landmark there that you can see on the horizon. That's kind of the main value of the hospital. Making a building that's that dense and intricate and sort of stacked up, making it functional with all of the detail that a base or something would take, would probably kill our performance budgets. So that's why we're not, because I could totally see why people want it. I would want it too, but I don't think that it's very practical to consider making that into a base. Dragon Puncher Eli asks, who came up with the concept of a Blood Plague survivor? That was me playing fast and loose with the rules of our world. Basically, so the game did not work yet. Like, you could not actually, I mean, you could run around and fight zombies a little bit, but you couldn't, like, the full loop of the game where you had resources and needs and you were managing stuff in your community, like, that whole deal didn't work yet. Everything that we had was very theoretical at the point when I started writing traits. And so we built the infrastructure for making characters, and we built the idea of a trait, and we built the buff system, which let me sort of create buffs that would, raise and lower people's stats. Not all of the stats did anything yet, but they existed, and so I could make traits. And so then I spent a month or so writing 1,250 traits, something like that, some ridiculous number of traits, and I was just writing and writing and writing all day, coming up with all kinds of just whatever, I would be like, okay, now we're doing all the different justifications for why somebody would have the mechanics skill, and I would come up with the obvious ones, and then I would come up with some less obvious ones, and then some even less obvious ones, and I'd be like, okay, now what are all the reasons why somebody might have higher health than somebody else? And I made a whole section of traits, and like, this is a health bonus, that's a health bonus, that's a health bonus, that's a health bonus. And then I got to infection rate. And I was like, okay, I don't know. Let's make up some reasons people might have different levels of infection rate. And so there's people who, are filthy. There's people who are clean freaks. There are people who have just never been sick, that sort of thing. You know people who seem to just have amazing immune systems, and some people that seem to be very sickly. I wrote all of those, and I was like, I don't know. Blood plague survivor. They've already had blood plague, and they seem like they've got an immunity to it. It's kind of like Ellie from The Last of Us or whatever. Like, they've caught it and survived, and that means there's something special about them, blah, blah, blah. And then I moved on to the next one. And it was just, I was not trying to create lore in the game or anything. I was just like, maybe this is how it works. I don't know. Here's a trait. And then it was one of, like, several dozen traits I wrote that day. And so there's so many of these traits that have become like legendary, where it's like, these are the traits that you look for. These are the most important traits in the game. And not one of them was one that I put a lot of extra thought into. They just happened to be at the far edges of the buff values that I was using. And so there you go. So AutoPG says, I can't wait to see you on Lethal. I got my butt kicked yesterday. Yeah, so I'm working on my last Nightmare boon right now, and once I have that, I'm planning to play some Heartland, and then once I've played some Heartland, I will have to play the Lethal Zone, and I'm going to get absolutely murdered. This is like I think that, I mean, yes, the first time I played the Lethal Zone, I was typically a Dread player, and so I was not ready for it at all. It completely, like, I only did 3 episodes in the Lethal Zone before I just got wiped. And so I'm probably better now that I've actually earned 3 and almost 4 Nightmare boons. I'm probably okay. I'm probably going to perform better in the Lethal Zone than I did before. I think that we might hit my skill ceiling before I'm actually beating the Lethal Zone, though. I think, because you can get better and better and better at something, but I think everybody's got a ceiling where they start getting diminishing returns and they can't get that much better. I'm probably going to hit that before I'm actually capable in the Lethal Zone. We'll have to see. Maybe I can manage it, but I think mostly it'll be, yeah, like you said, you'll be eating popcorn watching me die, and which will be, worthwhile entertainment possibly, but yeah, I don't think you're going to see me like mastering the Lethal Zone and showing you how it's done. Like, that's not going to be the kind of stream this is. Oh, Airy Twitch is saying that I sound much better. Good. I'm glad that you can tell that I am actually starting to feel better. I'm getting a little bit of my energy back. I definitely don't feel sick all the time. I have, like throat and nose stuff going on. Like I've got a mild cold, and I just get tired real fast. Like I'm probably gonna take a nap after I finish this stream, but yeah, I am feeling better than I was, and so I'm glad you've noticed, and I'm glad that you care. Awesome Twitch Dude asks, is there an end date on State of Decay 2, or can we keep getting content for years? So right now we have not placed an end date on it, so I can't make you any specific promises for how long we'll support State of Decay 2, because I could be surprised maybe somebody could make a decision where it's shorter than I think, or they can make a decision that it's longer than I think. But either way, right now we have not put an end date on it, and so you should at least expect that for the immediate future, we're still supporting this game. And, because, we get a huge benefit out of it. And the fact that people are consistently playing State of Decay 2 while we're working on the sequel, going dark for a really long time, letting people forget that State of Decay exists, and then trying to come back with a sequel later on. I don't think that'd be as effective as maintaining a community of people who are consistently engaged with our game. And so I think it's in our interest for us to continue supporting State of Decay 2 into the indefinite future, because I think in the long run, it helps State of Decay 3 a lot for there to be an active and avid State of Decay 2 user base. So yeah, I don't see us stopping anytime soon. Like I said, we can always be surprised. Who knows? I'm not the one who'd be making that final decision, but that is absolutely what I would expect. Dragon Butcher Eli wants to know if we're going to make a VR game or make a game VR compatible. That is the furthest thing from our minds right now. The VR community is they're vibrant. They do a lot of interesting, exciting things, but they're also fairly small. And the added expense on top of making a game that is extremely complicated already, I don't think we would make that investment anytime soon. Typed Metal, I don't know if we can. So folks have asked me multiple times actually about the fact that there was something announced in the press that the coalition, sorry, I'm so used to saying it with a Spanish accent because of one of my followers, that the coalition has been basically contributing to our use of the Unreal Engine. There have been some things in the press about that, and I don't have anything to add to it. Just because, people have asked, like, what's that like, working with them, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just don't know what we can or should say about, like, inter-studio stuff. And so I'm just going to, take the fifth on that. And say, I don't know what I can talk about, so I'm not going to talk about anything. I'm glad that you're interested in, in the process of making games and stuff. It's just, I just don't want to talk out of turn and say things, particularly about other studios that, it would all be, I don't have anything negative to say. Just to be clear, I'm not like hiding any like dark secrets or anything like that. I'm just like, I just don't want to talk out of turn or because that kind of thing, like technology sharing type stuff, that's not usually the area where I operate anyway. So I wouldn't even have a lot of valuable detailed knowledge. So I'm not the one to go to anyway for answers about that sort of thing. Oh, see you later, Jedi Psytrix. Thank you for hanging out. This was a lot of fun having you here. All right. Oh, so Sir Nanobot says I should always drink a big glass of lemon water in the morning because I've got all this like throat and nose stuff going on. I actually really hate lemons. Like whenever somebody brings water to a table at a restaurant and they've stuck little lemon slices in there, I'm like, can I have an unadulterated glass of water? Thank you. It's just something about the added taste of lemon in water actually just does not make me happy. And I don't know, people's brains are different. That's how mine reads tastes. It's like, this is gross. You've messed it up. Give me better water. So I can't do that one. But I do try to watch. I tend to eat a lot of, cream sauces, a lot of cereal with milk. And I've been kind of avoiding that a little bit lately because I know milk can really lead to mucus buildup. Why am I talking about medical things? This is not a medical stream. Radithcord says, you're the girl from Sides. No, I am not a drink leaver. Okay, so I will get a drink of water and I will drink it. Or if I don't like it, I will throw it away. I do not leave drinks around my house. There are other people who leave drinks around the house and I don't understand them. Like if I've got a drink of water, I'm going to drink the whole thing or I'm going to dump it out. But I'm not going to just like leave it lying around and be like, oh, maybe someday I'll drink this. I don't know. And then 3 days later, oh, look, I left a drink of water here. And go, You know, it's not really my style. Type Metal asks, if you could choose a studio to work with, who would you like to work with? That's, you know, that's a hard question to answer. I mean, if you're talking about like just me in my personal career, places I would want to work. I mean, honestly, like Undead Labs makes the kinds of games that I want to make. I don't have any desire to go anywhere else. If you're talking about like who would want to partner with as an outside, that just doesn't feel like the kind of thing I should comment on. So I'll probably avoid it. I have really liked the folks that we have worked with, over the years. So I mean, like so far we've had a lot of really good partners. Like, you know, Valkyrie was working with us for a while, for instance, and they did a lot of really good work on State of Decay 2, especially with the, they made some refinements to the combat, and they also, made a massive impact on our maps, and and several other things as well. And that's, so that was great. Valkyrie, highly recommended. So Zedric von Kotmal says, my family leaves drinks around the house and it drives me nuts. Yeah, sometimes I'll like find, drinks like all of the cup holders in my car full of drinks that were from like 2 days ago, and I'm like, what's going on? But whatever, people are different. It's fine. People get to be different. So Lit Flames Game says, I hope you beat this sickness and get back to 100% soon. Thank you so much. And actually, that's probably a good sentiment to leave this on. I would like to get better. And I'm glad that you all have come here, especially those of you who have wished me well. I really appreciate it. And yeah, let's go. So there's a subscribe button. Here's links to other videos. And the next time I play with the Commune, I'm going to stick that video right there.